Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones and I am a licensed clinical social worker and you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing The Strays, this new movie on Netflix. This shit's wild. And we're sipping on some Jamaica from this Mexican food place ate at earlier and some vodka. Cause Jamaica's good as fuck. How y'all doing? So, this movie was some shit. Like, it was fucking with me because I was just like, I thought these kids were about to murder these people, and I was just about to be like, well, I mean, she brought it on herself. So let me start from the beginning. So we got this character, this light-skinned mixed woman. I don't know, but she mixed with black, but and something else. I'm assuming white. I'm assuming she's mixed. I think she's mixed. I don't know, but we start off in the past. So she's at her apartment crying on the phone because she got to take the government, welfare and all this other shit, and they ain't giving it to her, and they treating her like a black. They mistreating her. They ain't trying to hear what she gotta say. She getting treated like a black, and she just hates getting treated like a black. So she just takes her shit, puts a letter on the refrigerator saying she going to get her hair done, and walks the fuck up out there and never comes back. And so apparently she meets this white man in this nice white town, and at first I was like, so is she trying to pretend to be white? Because she does not look white at all. Like, you can tell she's mixed, light skin, black, whatever the fuck she is. And so I'm just like, and then as we go forward, we realize that, oh no, all the white people around her know that she's black. Her kids look mixed. And so everyone knows that this is a black person. She just don't like herself. She doesn't like herself. And it just kind of goes into like, I'm trying to stay away from black trauma and shit just because I'm tired of seeing everything that has to do with racism. But this was an interesting take on it. So fuck it. It goes into colorism. It goes into whatever's closest to whiteness is perfection. It goes into Jim Crow and all that other shit. And so And so she don't like herself. She don't like anything that's even considered black. She went to her son's room or gym and took down his Lil Wayne poster. She giving her daughter the side eye when she come in with her cornrows and shit. It's just she don't like herself. And so for whatever reason, I don't know if we didn't get a lot of background on her. Like, she says like the dude she was with was abusing her. And it seems like he was, but she was also doing some shit to them kids as well, because they were saying that it wasn't just him that had issues. But anyways, like, so she doesn't like herself, and I don't know if there's other trauma outside of what she said happened with the dude she was with before. But like, it's turned into some weird ass, like, she will just disassociate and leave situations and create a new life for herself. I don't know if she got like...
I was thinking that maybe she could have some kind of personality disorder, like besides cluster B, like a cluster C, severe anxiety, avoidant, or maybe a cluster A, paranoid. But avoidant looks more like I don't want to be around anybody. And paranoid looks like she would be more hysterical, accusatory, and just questioning everything. This is more so triggered by the trauma of blackness. So I'm leaning more towards just pure CPTSD, and then maybe like more of like a sociopathy for the lack of empathy, or just an avoidant attachment. But even avoidant attachment is more so I'm an independent woman. That's what that looks like, than anything else. And so I'm thinking it's more so just purely fear-based and not necessarily something that has to do with a personality disorder per se. Because her goal isn't to just cause harm or completely avoid people or to be paranoid about such and such. She just completely is fearful and wants to completely avoid blackness. So I'm kind of just sticking with CPTSD for now. instead of just saying like, oh, she's sociopath. I'm not completely like, it's heartless and cold how she abandoned them, but like I'm not completely pulled in by the sociopath because there's no repeated behavior. It's just that particular trigger is what makes her do shit like that. So that's why I have for now. This is sober Jasmine editing.
On top of that, or she just really believed, excuse me, the delusions that she's built up for herself. It's like she's built up this protective casing around herself and living entrenched in this whiteness, and she don't want to move out of that casing, and she don't want her children to move out of that casing, because there are some of us in the land of people of color and black folks that we choose to protect, not we, because I don't do that shit. They choose to protect themselves by immersing themselves in white supremacy. Protect yourself by being friends and close bonds with your enemy. And, I have no qualms about that as long as you don't talk shit about the ones that don't want to do that. Like, if you hate yourself, and you don't like blackness or whatever, and you want to protect yourself from white people by being with white people, even though we've seen that doesn't really work like that, you just get really close to them and they still see you like an animal sometimes. But go off, sis. Not all the time. But when you hate yourself, you ain't getting with nobody that's loving you for you when you purposely date a white person that to cover up your blackness. Shut up. No. She happened to end up with a decent husband. He wanted her to take her, wigs off. She would always wear these wigs, and I just felt like, girl, but she ain't around black people, so she don't know how to lay her fucking edges and all this other shit. I'm talking shit. I don't know how to lay my edges, but the thing is, I don't want to glue my shit to my forehead. Like, I just don't, because I have oily skin. And so every time I glue it to my forehead, my skin oils up and it comes undone anyway. So it's just like, I don't feel like it. So I just bobby pin it and try to make it look as even as possible. So I know what the fuck I'm doing. I know it don't look right, but I don't give a fuck. It's cute to me. But she purposely doing this because she's staying away from black people. She don't even watch like her daughter on YouTube watching hair tutorial videos on how to do her hair better, like a person that's mixed, because she around all these white people and they don't do their hair the same as mixed people do their hair. So she ain't even sitting on YouTube videos watching how to lay these wigs. I'm just looking at her like, why your wigs so stiff, honey? Why your edges look like that? You look like you got a Barbie doll wig on your head. You sitting up here trying to act like you the shit. I'm tired. So she works at this school, and she's the vice head mistress or whatever the fuck. And her daughter is in choir, and she's about to have this banquet or something in a few days. So she wants the school choir to sing at her banquet to help the people in Uganda, which was really funny because I just felt like, first of all, a lot of them people in them countries in Africa ain't as poverty stricken as they be shown on television. There's areas, I'm sure, but they're not. No. And second of all, because the way she was talking about it, these poor people, they can't eat food. They don't, have lips. They just are decrepit. It's like, she didn't say it all like that, but it just felt like, that's what it felt like. It was just like, what are you talking about? And so, she's supposed to have this banquet. So she preparing for that. And then she looking up and seeing these little black kids, these little dark-skinned black kids, these two kids, like, I'm guessing they're young adults, just hanging around. And she just keep looking at them. And I think she know that's her kids. So they her kids that she abandoned. Because they didn't show the kids in the beginning, but she had two kids. And she just walked up out the house and said, I'm going to start a new life. Fuck these kids. Fuck these kids. Like, she shut that shit down immediately. I don't even think she make emotional connections. I think she lives her life in constant fear of being found out. Even though she looked black, she's in constant fear of being seen as one of the others. And like, she's moving through the world as if white people are zombies. And if she doesn't assimilate to the zombies, then the zombies are going to eat her. And so, but the thing is, the zombies know that you ain't one of them, bitch. They're just tolerating you. They're just tolerating your presence and shit like that. That's why they say microaggressive type things when you're around, and you just have to sit there and act like you're not bothered by it, when in reality, I know you are. That's why you're living this life. So you can't really escape it, even when you're escaping into whiteness, girl. And so these black kids is popping up, looking creepy and shit. And I'm just like, who are these kids? And I figured early on they were her kids or some shit, you know. So the girl, the little dark skinned black girl, she makes friends with the little mixed girl. That's her sister basically, and she don't tell them. So they not telling people. Like the dude becomes a janitor at the school. So I guess they doing reconnaissance or some shit for like a week or a few days just to see what's on the up and up with mum. You know what I mean? So mom is seeing them talking to her son, and she's just like freaking out, like, why are you talking to my son? And she don't know what to do. She just like she trying to act like they not there, but they just closing in on her more and more because they gonna confront her eventually. So what I was saying earlier, like there are people of color and black folks that will choose this life because they feel like it's the safest. They're moving through life in survival mode, and they feel like if they assimilate to the monsters, then the monsters won't eat them. But then they have self-hatred, so it's hard not to reflect that self-hatred onto other black people instead of just live your life with the fucking monsters and shut the fuck up. Like, why don't you live your life and just shut up? Like, why are you posting fuck black bitches, fuck black niggas, blah, blah, blah. Like just live your life with them. Like it's like niggas that be dating light skinned bitches and be dating white women and shit. It's like just live your life, just shut the fuck up and live your life. Like, why you gotta come back? Like, you keep coming back. Obviously black women are on your mind if you have to keep saying things like black women are evil bitches and hoes or whatever the fuck they be saying. And I'm just like, but just live your life over there. Like, are you not happy with the decisions and choices that you made? Are you not happy? Are you not happy? Are you unhappy? Is that why black women are so on your mind so much that you always have to make comments and questions and assumptions and la 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 la? I feel in my spirit you're not, because when you say and mention things over and over again, usually it's because it's on your mind. So it's just like that. So she over here, she's not necessarily outwardly hating on black people because she live in a town full of white folks. Like, she just gonna live her life in the town of white folks. And if these two kids hadn't came her way, she probably would just kept living her life in this town of white folks and trying to assimilate and hope that they don't see that she's black. But we can see her kids are growing up with some weird ass, feelings about themselves and their self-esteem because they know that they're mixed and they're trying to understand their black side and they can't get nothing from their mom and their dad don't know shit about it. He just over here just loving them and shit and whatever. And it's like, whatever. So come the day of the banquet. Little mixed girl got her hair cornrowed by her sister, didn't know it was her sister. Little mixed dude had a bonding moment with his dark skinned, unambiguously black brother. And, come the day of the event, they show up and they standing in the back. And mom is standing on stage just giving her speech about the Ugandans and how they're lipless and, they don't have cars or they climb trees for food and making up shit. Like, what the fuck? And so she is up there and then she sees them in the back and she has a whole conniption. She mad. I would have kept it. If we gonna play the part, we gonna play the part. I would have waited till they made a move. I'm not about, no. But then I'm not gonna have full 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old children and just abandon them. So I wouldn't be in this situation. I would not just do that. But, and I just feel like, see, you gotta see children as people with their own thoughts and minds, and they're individuals, and then you impact them. And she impacted them, and their dad impacted them, and wherever the fuck else they were traumatized at impacted them in a way that they basically became sociopaths. They were sociopaths. They did not give a fuck about whatever the fuck she was trying to talk about. They sociopaths. It is what it is. They traumatized to the point they became sociopaths. And no, this is not the place that we should be. It's not okay what they did or whatever. But like, I can't be mad. I'm just like, that's what happened, bitch. Like, you can't like they shouldn't have came back and tried to threaten her and do all that shit. But like, you can't just abandon no people like that, like, and leave them to the fucking wind to be abused and whatever else happened and tortured and stuff. Like, they even asked her, why you didn't take us with you? And she was just like, well, it was hard. And like, you just didn't want to. Just say you didn't want to. Just say, I didn't want to. You're baggage. I don't see you as people. I didn't even want the daughter. I was forced. Okay, but like, she's here now. So you just left. And the thing is, like, you can't just not see your children as people and do some fuck shit to them, because you don't know where they can end up. They could just leave you alone and never talk to you ever again. Or they can make it their life goal, to fulfill the vendetta that they have against you. They will, like, that's what I said in a few videos ago. Hyper focusing is a human superpower. When we hyper focus, we can become obsessed with things, and when that obsession goes up real high, we could do things that are harmful to ourselves or others, because that obsession could be tied to like sociopathy and traumas and other mental health issues and things like that. So think twice before you just decide to up and have the children and abuse them or like abandon them or something like that. If it's an adoption, you left them somewhere safe where they will be taken care of by people that love them. That's different. Like, but no, you walked out the house and never came back like somebody nigga daddy or some shit. He went to the corner store to get some milk and he never came back and shit. No, now it's the mama doing it and shit, because she don't like her fucking self and she didn't like her little black children, and she said, no, I'm gonna have little mixed children. Sometimes I be wishing them people that hate themselves like that would have the darkest fucking baby, but then I'm like, I don't wish that type of abuse on no little dark skinned child. I don't wish it on a little light skinned child. I don't wish it on any child. They don't deserve that. That adult needs to fix themselves. They need to not have kids then. Don't have fucking kids. If you ain't prepared to have no baby, darkest night, potentially, because all the colors of the rainbow lie within the black woman, okay? If you ain't prepared to have no child, darkest night, then don't do it. Don't do it. Like, you're not prepared to have a person be whatever and whoever they come out to be. Like, so you shouldn't have the children, because there you go. So they show up at the little banquet situation, and mom freaks the fuck out. She storms, and then the dude just flips because he got the aggression, and she's like, "You left us, mom, and they kept calling her mom, and everybody just looking, and she just like, and so she got to have a talk with her white family now about why she lied all this time about these people and these kids and all this other stuff. And she's trying to make up some bullshit like, I was abused and why didn't you say anything though? Like, you married a total person and then say shit about having kids. I'm just I don't usually the body will tell you if someone's had a kid, a little saggy in the gut, little stretchy markies and titty markies and things. Usually the body will tell you, but niggas don't be noticing shit. They stupid. So, they just upset. And then they try to compromise with her. Like, we're just going to have to keep talking about this and working through it. And little mixed sis wants to see her sister again. She's like, well, can we see them again? Da, da, da. Like, she wants to be connected. And mom was just like, in due time, we'll talk. And brother just don't want to even be involved. He's shell shocked. He's just like, fuck this shit. He don't even want to be involved. And so she gonna meet them at the diner. And they like just try to figure out, like, I'm sure if she had been open and loving, maybe, but they sociopaths. Who knows? No, because their actions, the way they were acting, like kind of dazed and manic a little bit, and just lack of empathy, lack of care. And I mean, they've been through shit, but we don't go through shit and then go to, we're gonna hurt people. Oh, excuse me. And so she meet them at the diner. And she was just like, well, your dad was abusive. And then the dude was just like, well, you wasn't better yourself. You did shit too. We never got into what she did, but I'm assuming that if she's this unavailable around anything black, she was probably emotionally unavailable to them. And so she was emotionally neglectful, is what I'm assuming, for based off of the way she's been acting throughout this whole movie. You know, she was loving towards her mixed kids because they were closest to white. Her little dark skinned children, I mean, she was upset about having to be treated like a black. To be treated like a black at the social services department. So, you know, I just can just assume how she was treating her little unambiguously black children. So, you know, yeah. And so she gonna try to slip them $20,000, 10,000 each. 10,000 ain't shit, okay? She said, you should go back to London. This should get you started. Like, she was trying to pay them off. And, you know, they was just looking at her like, and then they started crying and making her think that, oh, they love the money and they're gonna leave. No, bitch, they're crying because you basically was paying them off. Like, they came because they wanted some genuineness from you, and you're not capable of giving in because you're in some weird ass survival mode cycle where you're detached emotionally from everything unless it has to do with your survival. So maybe it is a personality disorder. Maybe she got some shit going on. I don't know, but that's all she focused on is her survival. She don't care about nobody else. And so they take the money, and then she go home, talk to her family again, apologize. We'll talk about it later. And then they go to bed for the night. And then these two motherfuckers break into their house and start going through their stuff and turning off the light, or taking their cell phones and putting the rip ties around the door and all this other shit so they couldn't get out and all this other shit. And then they just sitting on the couch munching it. They leaving the fucking faucet on. That shit was so bothersome to me. That faucet just be... It's just like... That's how you know when motherfuckers are just chaotic for no reason. You just doing shit just to do shit. And this shit was fucking bothering me. I was just sitting up here rocking back and forth like, they gonna turn that water? Why is there so much water that it's a lake on the floor now? Nobody cares. I don't understand. Why does the water need to be on? And so they wake up the house. The house come down. Everybody in the house come down and shit. And, you know, big bro just acting like normal, but like kind of manic normal. Mom, let's order Chinese food. Let's like you don't know what the fuck you doing. Like, that's how they got issues. Something's going on there. You know, sociopathy and things. And, you know. Because even when they're like upset at what their mom's saying and they're crying and stuff like that, it's like they just switch over into a different mood. They don't like sit there and be sad and like, you know, or they just get really angry and they got some shit going on and stuff from the shit they've been through. I feel like it's sociopathy. So it's not right. It's not okay. But it's like, that's what you bring on yourself when you mistreat people. Like, you know. So they're in the house. They got the kid to order Uber Eats Chinese food. And then they want to play Scrabble. They want to play pretend house and shit. And act like everything is fine. And so they sitting at the table playing Scrabble. And I guess the little dark-skinned girl is getting all chummy with the little light-skinned girl and shit. And the brother gets mad and stuff. I guess he feels like you need to maintain the hatred. You don't need to be friends with these people. So, like, I feel like the little dark-skinned girl does want a family type of environment. She wants to get close to her siblings. But also that part of her that has been warped by trauma. It's making it almost impossible to do that and maintain. Like, the first trigger that little light-skinned girl does, she probably might get stabbed in the face by this little girl. Because the little girl ain't got like a hold of her emotions properly and things, and she don't process things properly. So that's why, you know, even though she may want to have the family and things and get close and things, she doesn't know how to do that. So he gets up and he makes Ian, the white dad has just been shell shocked this whole time. He walking in there, he just like, what's happening? Why is this? We talked to her, we chastised her. He trying to calm them down and shit. They hate all of them niggas. He hate, at least the dude, he hate all them niggas. And so the white dude's just sitting there like, let's calm down. Let's, and he over there. The dude, he breaks this nigga's nose. He hits him with his forehead and breaks his nose and shit. And the dude is just, or he bloodies it. I don't know. And the dude is just standing there and he's silent then after that. And then like, what do you call it? They play Scrabble. So they sit at the table playing Scrabble, right? Because they want to be chummy while they waiting for the Chinese food to come. I don't understand why they ordered Chinese food. Why they it's probably food in the refrigerator. Why are you? This is why what happened. We're doing extra things that are unnecessary, but you just whatever. So I said, say play Scrabble. Yeah, she got chummy. He got mad. So he gets up and he tells Ian, I see the gym in the back. How much can you bench press? I bet it's a bit. I bet it's, no. He said, how much can you bench press? And then Ian said, a bit. And then they went in the back and this nigga killed this nigga with a barbell. He just kept adding the weights onto the stick that holds the weights that people lift when they lift weights. Until that nigga couldn't hold it up anymore and it crushed him. And that's horrible. God bless him. He didn't deserve that. This poor white man unsuspectingly marrying somebody and thinking that this would be the one, just for it to turn out to be like this after 16 years of marriage. I feel bad for him. He doesn't deserve that. Like, this bitch brought this to him. This bitch brought this to him. That's what I'm saying. This bitch brought this to him. He was out here living his life, probably wanted to get his swirl on. That's why he missed her natural hair and seeing it all the time and shit. And he got a little fetishism and shit in him and shit. And she brought this into his life. He didn't deserve that. And this nigga killed him. And it's just like, well, he didn't deserve that. They didn't have to kill that nigga. So while all this is happening and that nigga's being made to lift more and more weights, the Chinese food comes and mommy opens the door and she's trying to act all nice, like something clicked off, like she disassociated and detached at some point, and she just started acting really polite, really nice, trying to pretend like we're all family. And she suggested that they play Snaggles. What is it? Snaggle. What the fuck is that game with the letters and shit? You know what the fuck I'm talking. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. She suggested it. And she trying to act like everything's fine. So I'm just like, what is this bitch up to? Like, I was confused. So the Chinese food comes. She gonna answer the door. Smiling bright, just detached, associated, whatever the fuck. Putting on an act. Gets the food, puts it on the table, then says, I'm going to tip you. Let me go get my wallet. So she goes upstairs and gets her wallet. And what we don't see when she comes back downstairs until she gets towards the door is a jacket. So she's carrying her jacket and a wallet. And so while Ian is getting crushed to death, she goes to give them... well, first she walks into the room with the kids and she goes, I'm sorry for all the things that I've done, and one day I hope that you forgive me for the things that I have done. So she's saying all the right things just to appease her own conscience or whatever the fuck. Then she walks to the door to give him the tip and walks the fuck out the house forever. We don't change our ways. She just dipped on these niggas. She said, I don't know what's going on here. But I'm not gonna be involved with whatever the fuck y'all are doing. And I was just like, bitch, she's not gonna change her stripes. And I'm just like, you went after Ian. You were so focused on everybody must die, even though they didn't do anything wrong, that you let the main culprit slip through your fingers like sand through an hourglass. These are the days of our lives. Yes. And this bitch just smarmy and smiley just walks the fuck about the house. And then the dude, I think his name is Marvin. He comes back into the room, look around, talking about, where's mama? And then all the kids get up and stand at the door and just stare, because they knew she dipped. She dipped. That's where the fuck she went. Why do you think she wouldn't dip? So now she got 4 niggas with a vendetta against her. The little light-skinned boy had been mad from jump. He had been mad from jump. And he was mad at the siblings. And they low-key probably said, he killed their dad. Like, they could have had a dad that could take care of them after that bitch left. But no. Instead, they killed him. They didn't have to kill Ian. Ian didn't do nothing. Poor dear heart. I don't usually give white people leeway and shit like that, but he didn't do nothing. All he did was marry somebody. Like, was he not supposed to like somebody and marry them? Like, You know what I mean? And basically, he didn't deserve that. That ain't right. So what we have here is colorism, racism, self-hatred, anti-blackness, sociopathy, disassociation, detachment, maybe some kind of personality disorder because she just always on the run. She don't give a fuck about nobody but her motherfucking self. So I don't know what you would call that. She's living like, maybe it's not a personality disorder, but it's something. I just feel like it's a lot of trauma and a lot of detachment until she just keep detaching and detaching and detaching until she just don't, all she care about is surviving. That's all that's in her mind. So maybe it's just extreme PTSD. I don't fucking know, but she ain't got it. She ain't got it. And they about to chase her the fuck down and find this bitch. But my thing is, why wouldn't that be the first thing you did anyways? Like the bitch is showing you that she the one. Like, why you kill Ian? Why you coming after the Sibs? Sibs ain't out here doing nothing to y'all. They was just born. They didn't ask. It was just a lot. And I enjoyed it. I was just like, I thought the end, because everybody kept saying something about the end, so I finished it today. And I was just like, oh, they gonna slice and dice these niggas at the end and everybody gonna die or some shit. No, nigga. This bitch just calmly and quietly removed herself once again. And I'm just like, if somebody already showed you who they are, you need to believe them. Like, you should have had her tied to a chair or some shit. Like, nigga, like, you shouldn't be doing that to begin with. But if we're going to criminal, let's criminal right. Let's criminal smartly. You know what I mean? So we don't get caught. You know what I mean? So, if you're going to do something, do it right. But we shouldn't criminal. We should not criminal because it's not good for the world to criminal. So, I don't know. What did y'all think of this movie? The ones that watched it, did you enjoy it? Did you think it was weird? I'm liking the new black sci-fi, but I just feel like, yes, racism is a huge fear amongst the black folks. It is. And it's so fun to make it into movies and things about racism killing us in some way or some shit, or turning into monsters and killing us, or we're killing the racist monsters and stuff. But it's just like, I still do feel like, okay, we know racism is scary. Is there any other monsters that we can fight in an all-black movie? That's why I like Nope. Some people didn't like Nope. I like Nope because that shit looked like some new shit. I was like, oh, look at these black people fighting aliens and shit, nigga, with just a dash of microaggression. Then we moved past that and went into the actual fucking movie. Like, nigga, like what? I want more shit like that. Like, I'm tired of seeing these racist ass motherfucking people turn our people into sociopaths and shit and hate themselves and, why? Why? This didn't have to happen. Some shit happened to her to make her this way. Maybe she saw her mom being, used and abused. Maybe she, went through some shit when she was a kid and some nigga did some shit to her. Whatever it is, I feel like there's gonna be a sequel. Cause now we gotta see what the four of them niggas do. What are they gonna kill each other? Are they gonna go after her, kill her, then kill each other? Like, what's going to happen? What? Cause Ian's dead. They just killed his. I'm so sad that he died. He was a gentle, sweet soul. He had a little bit of a fetish, and I wouldn't fuck with him romantically. I want black children. I don't care. I'm not gonna be no white child. My grandmother was black, bitch. Bitch, that don't mean that don't. See, I would be an ancestor and come down and smack that little motherfucker. No, we're not doing that. You're white now. The children wanted to keep procreating with the whites, and so the blackness has been leached out. We're not doing that anymore. You're not going to use that to oppress actual black people. I don't care. Because they be saying shit like that. Then people with like a tiny drop of black in them be like, oh, my great. So they were a slave? So they were raped? And then they went back to fucking white people and girl. So what y'all think of this movie? I thought it was decent. I thought it was a decent ass movie. Um, I'm gonna do Abbott Elementary. I usually do Abbott Elementary on Mondays, and then I upload it like on Tuesday or Wednesday or some shit. So I'm gonna do Abbott Elementary tomorrow. So you probably gonna get this like this Sunday. So you probably gonna get this Monday or Tuesday, and then you probably gonna get Abbott Elementary on Tuesday or Wednesday or some shit like I don't know, whatever. But let me know what you think of the movie, and y'all know any people like this in your family? Any people that not like, not to her extreme, that would just walk out on their fucking almost grown ass children? Well, you're 11, because you'll remember that shit. When you're 11 or 12, you're going to remember that shit. Okay, so that's damn near grown and shit, because you're going to remember that shit. You're not an adult, but you damn near almost to that place, because you're going to remember this. It's going to traumatize you, and it's going to stay with you. Versus if she left it when they was 2 or 3, your body might remember, but you have no visual memories of this bitch, so you could care less. But, like, do you have people in your family that don't like themselves or seem to lean so much into whiteness that they forget who they are, and in a black space or in a black environment, they forget their blackness? Basically, they lean so much into whiteness that they forget their blackness, and they start acting the type of way and being a type of way, like them people that be like, you gonna name every other race that's in your DNA except for black. It's like when I'm swiping on the apps, as soon as I see I'm a mixed guy, so that's your identity, left. No, because that's what's going to be at the forefront of the conversations. You're going to be taking selfies with your green eyes, showing like that's your only quality that you have that matters. I don't feel like, no. You know, I don't mind dating a light skin or a mixed, but like, you need to have your good head on your shoulders and not be all caught up in this white supremacy ass bullshit, because I will bring you down to size and hurt your feelings. And then I'm gonna bounce, because I don't have time for it. Maybe I won't bring you down to size. Maybe I'll just bounce, because I'm trying to do better. I told God that I wasn't gonna be mean. I was gonna be nicer to people. And I've been working on it. I've been nicer, and I haven't been making fun of people and as much. And you know, stuff like that. I've been speaking outside and saying, you know, cordial things like, hi, how's your day? Instead of just walking past people like they're invisible. Look at me being nice, bitch. So, you know, I'm going to try to not. But, you know, like, do you have people in your family like that? That's like, just think like that. Like, you know, them light-skinned girls that decide to just get it all up in their head that they're on a pedestal because niggas put them on a pedestal, and white supremacy and Jim Crow put them on a pedestal, and that's the only way that they feel they can survive until they get with it. Because colorism does not help anybody, whether you're light skin, dark skin, brown skin, whatever skin. It don't help nobody, because it makes people that are darker than a certain color feel like shit about themselves, and then it makes people that are lighter than a certain color feel like they can never be themselves. So basically what's happening here is niggas be objectifying y'all and calling y'all the perfect this, the perfect that, and da-da-da-da. But you can never be yourself. You can never sit on the couch with your hot Cheetos and your dirty tank top watching anime and shit all day, because that's not a representation of the construct that he has built in his head about who you should be and how you should be acting. And so now you're a lazy hoe. You went from being the epitome of womanhood to a lazy hoe. And you being called a lazy hoe periodically and being made to feel like there's nothing I can do right unless I have to be perfect. And then you have some weird ass perfectionism ass type anxiety. And now you're a perfectionist. And then some of y'all be turning that and projecting it on dark skinned women. Like, that doesn't exist and niggas love me and blah, 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 blah. Bitch, they leave you single mothers too. You seen the white woman TikTok where all them white women that were talking about they took our men and da-da-da, and now they're all complaining about being single mothers and then niggas had left them? That's the niggas that are the problems. It's not nobody's skin color that's the problem. It's the niggas, and it's the white men that have perpetuated this, and the white women that follow along with the white men and perpetuate this bullshit. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on. So That's why colorism doesn't work for anybody. I don't want to be in a situation where I can't be my fucking self and I always have to be on, even in my personal life. That would deteriorate my mental health. That's how people end up snapping motherfuckers and shit, because you breaking down their mental health to where they can't reason anymore and they fuck some shit up. And that's not okay. Like, no, I'm not going to be in a situation where I could potentially, like, I would leave before that. I would leave before, like, you're not going to keep me here prisoner with your bullshit. You got me fucked up. So, and I don't want to like I don't really like, if it's between the two, I'd rather just be dark skinned, cause I can live my life, be myself, and I don't have to have toxic niggas in my life if I don't want them to be there. Like, toxic niggas will chase down a light skinned bitch. Like, I walk down the street, they'll stare because they're insecure or whatever the fuck. They'll stare and whatever and da da da. I guess they expect me to walk up to. I'm not doing that. Oh. I am a lady. A lady. And, and so I'm pretty much left alone. And eventually the right one's going to come along and blah, 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 blah. But, like, I wouldn't want to be no light-skinned bitch. These crazy niggas chasing me down, and you don't know which one is sane and which one isn't. You just know there's a shit ton of them around you and shit. And they want to talk to you. And every time you move or breathe and shit, they want to be up under you and shit until one hooks themselves onto you and then abuses you. Like, no, nigga, like, you can't be with somebody that doesn't see the whole entire you. And so, I like my skin color. I think it's beautiful. Like, look how it's like shiny and different. It looks like I like the animes where they put the blush on the shoulder and the elbows and shit. But, like, that's how it just looked. I don't care. This shit is beautiful, nigga. I perfected my body skincare to where it looks like an anime character and some blush and shit on my shoulders, nigga. You can't tell me nothing, bitch. I like my skin color. I like how I look. I don't want to be light skinned. I don't want to be chased down by niggas like they are, because it seems overwhelming. And, like, how do you tell the difference until they do some fuck shit? You know what I mean? I don't feel like it. So that means that I can have a more selective process and not just take anybody, you know? And I'm saying, like, all light skin. I'm talking about the ones that, you know, live in the white supremacy, grab a hold of it for dear life and think that it's going to protect them from the bullshit. It's like them Asian folks, like them East Asians. They're called the model minorities because white people put them on a pedestal. I think mainly because they have their own countries and they haven't been colonized by white people, so they have their own situation. So I think there's a hint of fear there with white folks, like what they doing with China and shit, trying to make China seem like they, and probably, I don't know, maybe so, but, you know, like, it's still like a fear because this is the only area in all of history that has not been colonized by white people. And so I feel like there's a smidge of fear when it comes to Asian people and a pedestalization. Let's glorify their good qualities so they won't, like, turn against us and bomb us and start wars and shit. But as soon as you deviate from the construct that's in their mind that they built around you based on stereotypes and white privilege and white supremacy and shit, oh no, they bring the rain, nigga. Hey, let's say you got Philip. Philip is from China. Philip has family in China. Philip is just, you know, in America. He might be, like, let's say second generation. So, like, his family's from China. He's from America. He's born here, raised here, grew up here, but he visits his family in China often. And he has a grandmother that he loves so much in China that he visits at least once a year because Philip got money and he can do shit like that. And grandmother is on her deathbed, just found out, had a random stroke. They said she got a week left to live or some shit. So Philip, he loves his job. He's like, you know, let's say Philip's a lawyer. And Philip and his boss get along. They just, like, really great, like this and shit, nigga. And the boss is always praising him for his good work, and Philip just has it in him to work extra because, you know, unbeknownst to Philip, they're muling him because he's allowing But then, like, all that hard work and shit, that's like a cultural thing too over there. So, like, I don't know if they realize when they're being muled over here in America, just because, that's a part of, like, oh, hard work. Da, da, da. No, nigga, these white folks mule people. It's not the same like over there where everybody is encouraged to work hard and get good grades, even to the detriment of their mental health sometimes. No, white people will mule you and make you do most of the work because you're already doing it, and then keep piling it on while they do nothing. They do nothing at all. So Philip doesn't realize he's being muled. He just thinks, well, this is a part of, work hard, work diligent, be da 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 da. That's how I was taught at home, blah blah blah. And so, or maybe he does because, he was born here. So but like still, like you born here, but you be around your people. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't know, Philip. But I'm going to say he don't know that he's being muled. So grandma is on deathbed. Philip needs to make an emergency trip home. That's his favorite fucking grandma. She been there through everything. He visit her at least once or twice a year and some shit. He need to tell his supervisor, who he's like this best white man, that he needs to take an emergency leave of absence because his grandma's on her deathbed. He need to go to China. He need to do da. This man who has been like this with him, they eat lunch together sometimes. They laugh and giggle and talk. Bromance almost feels like, doesn't it, Philip? Soon as you tell him, I need to go home, my grandma's on her deathbed, what you think this white man gonna do? He think he gonna be friendly and, oh yeah, of course, you're a human. I see you as a person. So, I'm gonna let you go home. No, nigga. This white man is gonna look at Philip and something is going to mess up in the computer in his brain. It's gonna misfire. He's gonna be confused. Philip works. Philip works, and that's all Philip does. Why does Philip want to go? And then he's just gonna look at Philip and be like, "Oh, Philip, I can't give you that. We have this big case coming up. You can't just suddenly leave, Philip." And so now Philip is in a quandary because he just feels like, no, I need to see my grandmother. And so, yeah, shit like that. Shit like that be happening, and people be just falling into white supremacy thinking it's going to protect them. No, they don't see you as different. They just know that you don't like yourself, and they're going to mule you until you show them that you're a person. And when you show them that you're a person, they're going to freak the fuck out because that's what privilege is. You get the privilege until the person that is giving you the privilege feels a type of way. And then you get cussed the fuck out. No, this is not every white person. Not everybody. Because niggas are dense, and so you have to say shit like that. This is just what happens in certain situations, but it happens so often that, that's why we have words like microaggressions and burnout and, office, racism and shit like that. Like, people write articles about this. So it's happening enough that people are making up words for it and writing articles about it and, discussing privilege and what privilege looks like and how privilege has nothing to do with who you are as an individual, but has everything to do with how the people around you are viewing you as an individual and what kind of gifts they want to give you or take away from you because you're a nigger. So, yeah, some people will fall into it. I mean, I don't think it's better because you always have to be on, and I refuse. I need breaks from being on. Like, I can't be around a bunch of white folks for a long period of time because their culturalness, some stuff starts to come out that I don't feel like a bunch of drunk white folks. Hell no, nigga. Like, that's how you end up murdered. I don't give a motherfuck what nobody say. That poor woman at that sleepover that got murdered, and they come about, we don't know how she ended up at the bottom of the balcony. We were all asleep in the house. Nobody knows. I know you don't, bitch. No, I need breaks. Like, I can't do that. So I'm happy to be the undesired. Because the desired, that seems exhausting. You got these niggas chasing you, and then you end up with 15 babies, and they don't want to take care of them. And these are the ones that fall into the white supremacy construct or the misogynoir construct for protection. You like a lot. They end up with fucked up lives and in abusive relationships and single mothers with a bunch of kids. A lot of the times, hating themselves and hating the decisions that they made and trying to project all that shit onto everybody else and never really being fully loved for who they are because they don't know who they are because they spent their whole life in survival mode, so they've never developed who they are. They don't know what they like and what they don't like. They just know that if they pretend to like the things that the white people like or that this black man likes, then they won't have to be alone. And I will never let loneliness be so extreme that I'm going to end up in some bullshit like that. Cause I came from some shit like that. Never again. Never again. Never again. So I will be undesired. I will be by myself until, God sends me whoever, I'm putting myself out there. I'm not like closed off or anything. I'm not going to deal with bullshit. So that's what this made me think of. Just like, I feel bad for the light skins that are like that and the mixed that are like that. I feel bad. Like, that's sad. Like, just stay the fuck away from me though, because y'all got some shit that you need to work out. That's none of my business. God bless you. But I'm not going to argue with you. No, those type of people can stay the fuck away from me. Heal, work on yourself. God bless. And then maybe once you're healed, you can come back and we can talk and be friends and all that other shit. But no, them type of light skinned and mixed motherfuckers need to work on themselves because you don't deserve to be treated like that, girl. You don't deserve to be an object and never be yourself, girl. You don't deserve to be accepting crumbs and scraps from niggas because you don't fit the construct that he built in his mind of what light-skinned bitches need to be acting like and shit. You don't need to be doing that, girl. So just be aware of that, girl. You don't need to be marrying no white man because who's fetishizing you and things like that, and all his white friends are sitting around laughing and saying microaggression jokes and shit, and you just sitting there trying to act like, oh, am I passable enough? Like, maybe I'm not passable enough, and that's why they're saying these things. I need to get another wig and bleach my skin some more. Like, bitch, if you don't see, this is how deeply ingrained racism is in this world. It's sad. It's sad. It's a mental health epidemic because it affects everybody. Like, don't y'all get exhausted? Like, white folks, don't y'all, like racist white folks, don't y'all get exhausted always having to think about like either overcompensating and overly thinking about what people of color want and black people want, or like not caring and projecting your own inner pains and turmoils onto us in the form of racism. Like, I would be exhausted. That shit is exhausting. Like, I enjoy going to the spa and taking naps and watching anime and eating snacks. And, I just feel like that is the most restful I can be in my whole entire life, to just do those things. Like, y'all sitting up here, I enjoy being mean and hurtful to people and hurting people's feelings. And it's like, no. Like, black men, like, ain't you tired of being so angry and feeling so oppressed and creating your own oppression by not just white people, but also black women? Apparently you think we oppress you. Like, aren't you tired of just like projecting your own trauma and pain on other people and not actually fixing that shit and then moving on and living a happier life? Like, aren't you tired? Because I would, like self-hating light skins and stuff. Like, aren't you tired of just always being on? Like, she had to always be on. Like, she never rested. She always had to be checking herself, checking everything else around her, making sure she's saying the right thing, making sure her kids are saying the right things, tearing off Lil Wayne posters off the wall. And like, bitch, that looks exhausting. Aren't you tired? Don't you want to be happy? I like being happy. Like, it's a nice feeling. Even just content is good, because that means I'm at peace. I'm at rest. I'm just chilling. And I can really say I'm just chilling. I'm chilling. I'm not out here faking and saying I'm fine. No, I'm chilling. And it feels good to be able to say that and mean that shit. Like, fuck is wrong? Like, it's exhausting. You feel exhausted. You getting angry, irritable, depressed, anxious all the fucking time. and you're exhausted and you don't care, and the only way you see to fix that is to project that bullshit onto other people and to project that shit onto yourself and hate yourself, and nothing ever gets fixed. You never feel better. Do you know there is a better? I just want you, there is a better. You have to believe that there is a better, and then you have to strive towards that better, and you have to be patient with yourself and give yourself grace, because it's going to take a little while to get to better, but it is a better feeling to have when you just love your fucking self. Because when you love yourself, you just chilling. You know, you understand people are different. You understand that, like, people have different feelings and emotions, and it doesn't faze you. As long as no one's trying to cause harm to you, you're just chilling. As long as nobody's trying to cause harm to themselves, you're just chilling. And it's a nice place to be. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I hope that we all can get to a place of just chilling the fuck out. Calm, take a nap, eat some snacks, watch your favorite show. Don't binge eat, just eat some snacks in a nice way that makes you feel comfortable. And, just chill. Just chill the fuck out. Later days.